Hey guys, what is up? Here to review another movie review. This time for one of my most anticipated movies of 2016, Hail Caesar, a comedy written and directed by the Coen brothers and having one hell of an ensemble cast. Starring Josh Brolin, George Clooney, Alden Ehrenreich, comment below, Ray Fiennes, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Frances McDormand, Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, Veronica Osorio. I guess that's actually where some of the big names end. Also, it's Clancy Brown. Oh yeah, I think I forgot that. Damn it. Okay, so what this movie's about, it's about a fixer. Like, it's in the 50s. They're like kind of like the end of the golden age of like Hollywood, or somewhere set during the golden age of Hollywood. And there's a fixer, played by Josh Brolin, who it's set around one day of him trying to deal with all these issues, keeping his studio in line, keeping all these actor scandals out of the press, gossip columns, journalists, anything like that. And unfortunately, he has a couple problems to deal with. The main one being the fact that there's a huge production being made called Hail Caesar, which is a film within a film, basically. Well, something like that. It's a film within this movie. Also, he gets kidnapped by people that comes from the future, and he has to deal with that. But there are other issues he has to deal with, which they kind of somewhat left down the trailers, actually. Yeah, and I have to say, of course, I was extremely excited for this. It was I put it in my. It was actually one of my most anticipated movies of 2016. I think it probably would have been my top 10. I didn't make a list. I had my. I just had so much written down in categories of excited for, not on board, might give a chance, looking forward to, worth a shot slash worth might give a chance slash worth a shot. You get the idea. I was very excited for this, and going into this movie, I heard some good things about from critics, but audiences really didn't seem to be liking it that much, and I was a little worried. Coming out of it, I enjoyed it, but it ain't that great. It's a little disappointing, and it's my least favorite film from the brothers so far. I've been a big fan of these brothers for almost like 2 years, because I really didn't get into films around 2013, and I really got bigger during 2014 and 2015. It just kept expanding and keeps expanding as it's going. It'll probably get bigger once I get out of college, which will be in several years, and of course when I get my job and get a job and have steady income. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just basically relying on money I get from my grandparents and all that shit. You know, yeah, I don't have a job. One day I will. Now, I was a little disappointed, but I don't think this movie is bad. I understand why audiences on Rotten Tomatoes are responding very poorly to this film, but for me, I thought there were overall more positives than negatives. This movie is a very bizarre comedy. It's a very bizarre movie in general. The Coen brothers are not the most conventional filmmakers, let's just say. They have a very bizarre way of writing. The way they kind of start, they have an interesting idea, and they basically expand upon it and see if it works. And this is a very unique idea, and I have to say the trailers were a little misleading, especially with some of the, they were really banking on the names of the big cast, but there's a few names that are kind of left behind. And there's actually one surprise, and one of the names that they had, one of them actually really did surprise me. I'll get to them later. But I mean, it had a big cast. I mean, I was excited for it because I love the brothers and also the ensemble cast. And the overall trailer wasn't my favorite. I didn't really love the trailer at first, but it kind of grew on me, and I did like the soundtrack they used for that. And yeah, overall I enjoyed it. It's just not perfect, which is pretty sad. So far, it's the least film I've seen from the brothers, but knowing the fact that I still liked it, yeah, that's considering how much I like these guys. I've yet to see The Lady Killers, which people consider their worst film, I think. So yeah. My favorite from them? I don't know. I love Big Lebowski. I'm stuck between Big Lebowski, Fargo, and No Country for Old Men. Big Lebowski is probably one of the funniest comedies I've ever seen. Love Jeff Bridges. Love everyone in there. Walter also is great. I love John Goodman in that movie. It's very bizarre as well, but it has its own unique charm to it, which is also what this movie has. Fargo, great dark comedy. I just fell in love with it. I love Frances McDormand. She made me laugh a lot. No Country for Old Men. Love Josh Brolin. Javier Bardem especially, I think he was the best. I also like Tommy Lee Jones. I thought it was just also a great movie in general. Very good thriller. Like the cat and mouse chase. It's very unique. It has the unique flair of the brothers, which I really like. But let's get to this movie. Let me say I like the cast. The cast was great. Josh Brolin, love him there. He had a very unique charm to him. He has his own unique charm. It's kind of funny having to see him deal with issues like this, and it is kind of funny some of the situations he goes through, and sometimes it gets serious. I'll focus on that later. But overall, I liked him. He had his own unique charm, and overall, I was just loving everyone he was on the screen. He made me laugh, and sometimes he also he felt like a mess, but overall, he made me laugh, man. Overall, I had a fun time with this character. George Clooney, he's more of an imbecile, kind of something a bit like his character in Oh Brother Art Thou, another Coen Brothers film. And he's played with the Coen Brothers before. Before this became my least favorite was Burn After Reading, but I like that movie, so that tells you how much I like these brothers and how much I've seen at their weakest on, well, what I've seen of them so far, not Lady Killers yet. That's probably going to be my worst, who knows. We'll wait and see if I ever catch it. Yeah, and he's a pretty funny imbecile. I have to say I liked him on screen. He had a few funny moments. Hell, he even played an extra, like they had a double, like a bi double for, like Bear Whitlock. He plays a guy called Bear Whitlock, the biggest star, and they even have like a body double. And actually, there's a time where he kept phoning up his lines and phoning up his takes that he was showing that one scene that actually made me laugh. It was actually probably one of the funniest scenes in the movie, but it's far from the funniest scene. Yeah, Alden Ehrenreich or something like that. Boy, this guy, I love this guy. He's really going places. I really enjoyed him on screen. I kind of liked how this movie actually is a pretty funny satire of 50s culture. I mean, 50s movies, like the Hollywood in the 50s. And one of them is the fact of him being a Western guy. Like, he's a guy who's popular in all the Westerns, but he's supposed to be in a drama, and he can't act. Oh, man, he can't act. And actually, he's starring in a drama directed by Ray Fiennes' character, Lawrence Lawrence. That's a funny name. That actually made for some good jokes. And there's one scene where Ray Fiennes is trying to help Ehrenreich say a line correctly. And I know that was in a trailer, but I didn't watch that trailer. And that was the funniest scene in the movie. I actually laughed several times during that scene. It was really, really funny. Scarlett Johansson, I also liked her a lot. I liked her accent. She made me laugh a couple times. She's an actress who is pregnant, and they don't want her to get out there. No, in fact, she doesn't really have anyone. She's been divorced several times. She doesn't have any sort of man. Yeah. You just obviously know that maybe she, yeah, you probably don't want to scale to the press that she has no father, basically, or no one to take care of it, so that, I gotta see how that could be scandalous. I liked her, you know, she's a person who's in a mermaid costume, like kind of like a musical or something like that. She has to dress up as a mermaid. It was a pretty cool sequence. I'll give it that. Also, Tilda Swinton, loved her too. She plays a Thora Thacker / Desley Thacker. A set of twins. One of them's a gossip columnist, and one is a pure journalist. And I like the flashing two personalities. She actually really nailed the personalities very well. She made me laugh a couple times. Overall, I enjoyed her time on screen. She put a smile on my face. Also, Frances McDormand. She has a very brief cameo. It was actually kind of funny, but she made me laugh. It was nothing. It was really just a cameo. Same for Jonah Hill. Actually, I think actually on the poster, his name is supposed to tie in Channing Tatum's, but he has so less screen time. And his, I'll get to his cameo later. He was fine for what he had on screen, but it was very brief. I'll touch on that. Channing Tatum, really like this guy. I especially liked how he's kind of like, you know, he's, you know, like, damn it. I know I'm doing that right. I know I have this movie somewhere. I own it. Yeah, there it is. Gene Kelly. He's basically the the Coen Brothers version of Gene Kelly, who's in a sailor suit and does a musical number, which I actually really liked. Also, his singing's pretty good. I have to give it that. Yeah. There is a big cast here, and most of them get their time to shine, and I have to say, nice. It also can go very weird at times, and it's going to stuff involving communists. This is set during the 50s, so it doesn't feel out of place. I'm just going to leave it communists. I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to really spoil much, but it was weird, but it also works. It has its own unique charm to it with its style. Yeah. I like the nods. It's also a love letter to the 50s. Not only is it kind of like almost like lampooning the 1950s Hollywood, it's also a love letter to it. The musical numbers, the massive sets, the big epics, as well as like how they title a movie. Like, I mean, the way they kind of titled Hail Caesar was kind of like, you know, with the exclamation mark at the end of the title, and also putting in quotations, I think. Is that part of it? Well, that was like when they were showing the actual movie, the movie within the movie. So yeah, that was kind of cool. In terms of being a comedy, I found this movie actually be pretty funny. I laughed out loud, I think, like 2 or 3 times. Of course, the scene where Ray Fiennes is trying to help Alden Ehrenreich try to learn his lines. That scene made me laugh a lot. Also involving a scene where Josh Brolin goes over with religious people. You know, I mean, you know, I don't know who else to say involving like religious people. That's all I can say. I don't know much about. I can't really detail who they were. Really, comment below if you have any details on it, if you've seen the movie. But it's them going over a script for a movie and seeing if it has any sort of way, anything that's offending toward it in terms of its religious aspects, if that's offending. And they just keep talking back at each other. Like whenever they're just talking at each other, sometimes like poking funny and making fun of each other for different on their religious beliefs. It was just so funny. I actually was laughing aloud. It actually was a pretty funny scene. Also, I think there was also a scene involving you may have seen the trailer. It was kind of like involving a scene involving people rowing on a boat, and I think maybe like a submarine or something like that. I have no idea, but it was one part of that scene. I actually found it really funny, and there were some chuckles and a few laughs here and there. But, for the most part, I found the movie actually pretty funny. Even like some of the cams were funny. Overall, I found the movie entertaining. Also, it's very lighthearted, so it's very joyful. It's left me with a smile on my face. I was just really enjoying it. But, however, it's not the best thing. But, however, yeah, it is pretty entertaining, but, yeah, not perfect. I especially love the production. I love how it just feels like the 50s. The production design, the art direction, the costume design. It feels like the 50s. It looks like the 50s, feels like the 50s. Also, the cinematography from Roger Deakins. It's not great, but it's not that bad either. I really did like that. His cinematography, he had some, sometimes the way sometimes he shot certain sequences, especially whenever they're shooting like for other Hollywood productions, it sometimes just felt like, it just felt like it looked like a 50s movie. It just had that feel to it. It really got me in there, and I was really enjoying it. Overall, I found it pretty enjoyable. Also, I kind of like, so yeah, there's a lot of entertaining sequences. I like some of the, it's a love letter 50s Hollywood. I really enjoyed it. And there is some good satire here. There's actually one scene involving Iron Rican spaghetti. You probably know that's a jab. You probably know that what it's poking fun at. And actually that was actually kind of funny. But in spite of all that, this movie ain't perfect, and there's a couple issues I have with it. Well, I found it to be overall enjoyable. I think my main complaints come from the tone and the focus of the narrative. In terms of tone, yeah, this movie can be a little bit messy in terms of tone. Sometimes it'll change tone a couple times. Sometimes it'll be lighthearted and fun. Sometimes it'll be a bit serious at times. Sometimes even at times religious. Not just like with not only that scene when they're going over the script of a movie to see if it's offending, if the religious aspects of it are offensive, or if there's anything in it that will offend religious people. Catholics, Christians, Jewish. You get the idea. I actually think the Coen brothers are Jewish. Okay. Yeah, I think so. There's times where it involves him going to a church. You may have seen in the trailer where he kind of says where he says, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." Yeah, that's one of the scenes in the trailer. Yeah, that's one thing about there. Yeah, that was. Sometimes the tone is a bit all over the place. It never bothered me too much, but sometimes it kind of got me. However, I think the biggest problem I have with this movie was really its focus. Now, sometimes how it would focus is that sometimes it would focus on Eddie trying to deal with all these issues, and sometimes it would cut to George Clooney with these people who call themselves the future. It would focus on that. Now, the movie is pretty fast, but the movie can be a little bit boring for some. It's not the fastest moving comedy, but it kind of moves long. It moves along pretty well. It's not the pacing is fine. It's not like the pacing ain't bad. There's just a couple issues involving tone and focus. The focus sometimes would be sometimes it'd be on Josh Brolin, and sometimes it would cut to Hollywood productions being made, kind of almost like a distraction from the main plot, or kind of like an addition to its satire or something like that. Sometimes it would focus on some stuff with Alden Ehrenreich, and also it cut us back to George Clooney. There never was a sense of consistency or any real flow from it, and also it ends abruptly, kind of like other Coen Brothers movies. The abrupt ending wasn't all that too bad. It is centered around one day, so yeah, I can definitely see why it's abrupt. I don't think it's trying to be it's all centered around one day, and there is a lot of shit that happens in one day, so I guess if it's supposed to be like that, they did a good job making it eventful. It's not really what I call boring. I was interested in seeing where it was going, and overall, I was having a fun time with it, but there are some issues with it. The tone, I think they could have tightened up a little bit more of the script. Maybe they could have done a bit more tighter transitions. This is edited by Roderick James, which, of course, if you don't know at this time, is an alias for the brothers. They edited this film. Maybe they thought this was the best idea. I don't know. Maybe there was some stuff that was cut out. Look, I have no idea. There is some stuff here that definitely does work here. There's a lot. I like the satire. I like its jab at 1950s Hollywood. I also like its love letter 50s. I like some distractions from the main plot because, the musical number with Channing Tatum, the sailor guys, that was actually really good. I really like that scene. I love that scene. I like when they're showing like these Hollywood productions being filmed. I thought that was really fun. I love the scene involving like a. I love the scene where Alden Ehrenreich just was being fed his line. I like when they're going over the script with the religious people. I don't know what they are. People comment below. And I like the scene where the body double for George Barrett Whitlock keeps screwing up. That was funny. I was enjoying it. But I have to say, this movie did disappoint in a few aspects. You know, to be honest, there's probably so much shit here it could work for a TV series in all honesty, but I don't know if the Coen brothers are up for that. Sure, they have Fargo, but that wasn't created by them. That was created by Noel Hawley. It's executive produced by them, but they don't have any real involvement in the series other than marketing it. So, yeah. Also, I do think, also when it comes to like a Jonah Hill and Frances McDormand, while I didn't have a big problem with Frances McDormand's cameo, it was a little bit wasted considering her talent. They're probably banking too hard on the big names of these stars, and I feel like they could have done a bit more with her cameo. I mean, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed her cameo, but it really wasn't that. Really, there wasn't enough laughs out of it, and overall, it wasn't as memorable as it could have been. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it could have been a little better. I think the real person who was wasted here was Jonah Hill. Yeah, that scene in the trailer, that was actually his only scene. They had a few more lines from him and a couple more seconds of screen time, or maybe like almost like another minute of screen time. But overall, he was kind of wasted. And there is a story arc here involving like a Scarlett Johansson, and it kind of in a way involves Jonah Hill. It kind of wraps up very quickly. I don't know, really I don't know. It is kind of. It's a little bit abrupt, and it's a bit of a waste of a big actor like him. You know, this could have been a little better. Yeah, it does piss me off that this is kind of like all they did with Jonah Hill. It really was, his cameo really wasn't all that funny in my opinion. It was the joke was kind of more like a light chuckle at best. It really didn't really get much of a laugh out of me, which is pretty sad because this is a big cast, and these people can be really funny. And Frances McDormand, to be honest, the people who were really wasted for me was Jonah Hill and Frances McDormand. Everyone else did fine. Channing Tatum actually surprised me. Actually, there was a bit more of his character that wasn't really spoiled in the trailers, which I was really happy about, and I really enjoyed that. Scarlett Johansson, some of her acts, the way she acts the way she acts on camera and off camera was actually pretty funny. Especially off camera, I think it actually made me laugh the most. These people really delivered. Whenever they were on screen, they were doing the best they could do with the script they were given. This ain't a terrible script, it's just a little bit unfocused and a little unbalanced. That's what my only problem is. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I like the production values, it's a love letter to 50s Hollywood, and I had a good time with it, and I do like the cast, especially Brolin, who I think was the best. I do like Clooney as well, and Ehrenreich. He really surprised me the most, and I really expect a lot of great things from this guy in the future. But there definitely is a couple of issues here. The movie could have probably been a little longer in all honesty. Hey, look, you know, it all started on one day, but they could have done a little better with like balancing out certain elements here, maybe fleshing out some stuff more. I'd probably been overall more satisfied with it. Sure, I know it's all around one day, but they could have done a little more with it. But you know what? It's far from bad. There are some tonal inconsistencies, and the focus is a little bit all over the place. It is a little bit unbalanced, but overall, I had a good time with it. I know some of you were not that happy with it, and that's fine, and I really am sorry for you. I hope you find something better. But overall, I had a good time with this. Even at their worst, so far, I've seen the Coen brothers still do some good things here. There's definitely some good production values here, and it definitely has, in my opinion, much more merit than some of the comedies I've seen last year and all the comedies I've seen before. So, I can definitely see why you're displeased, but overall, I had a good time with it. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't perfect or any better, but you know what? It could have been worse. You know, these critics actually really do like this film. Maybe there's something about it that I'm missing. Maybe I was just a little bit too... Maybe just when I was going into the film, I was probably worrying a little too much. Maybe if I watch the film again, I'll probably at least still enjoy it. I don't think I'll hate it, but maybe there's something there I'm missing. There is some cool nods to the 50s cinema that I probably missed. There's probably something there, but so far, at least I had a good time with it. Could have been much worse, but at least I got something out of it. I don't know. These critics love it. Some of them really do. Like Richard Roper, Glenn Kenny or something like that. Like the guy who posted on Roger Ebert's website, he gave like a 4 out of 4, I think. Wow, congrats for him. Glad he loved it. Same for Roger Ebert. But I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. Maybe I'll find something about it that I enjoyed before. that I didn't notice before. Maybe I'll enjoy it more. I don't know. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see the future. We'll wait until it gets released on DVD. But for now, I'm gonna give Hail Caesar 3.5 out of 5. It ain't perfect, but you know, I still had a fun time with it. It offers up a good amount, has a few good LOL laugh out loud moments for me, and I enjoy the cast, and I like its take on 50 cinema. But overall, yeah, it's not one of their strongest efforts. It's pretty much the weakest I've seen from them. But knowing fact I still enjoyed it, that does say something about their talent and what that just says something about their talent. I hope best for their new film. I think they're doing another one, a dark comedy. It's being directed by George Clooney, who of course is a common collaborator from them, which is cool. But you know, I hope their next film will kind of make up for the otherwise response from viewers. Anyways, guys, my review for Hail Caesar. Comment below. What did you think about it? Is this your least favorite? Were you disappointed? Were you satisfied? What is your least favorite Coen Brothers film? Is this your least favorite Coen Brothers film? What's your favorite film about filmmaking? Mine, I think it's Singing in the Rain. Yeah. You know, this movie is definitely not for everyone. There is an audience for this and they enjoy it, and that's great. And I guess I'm part of that. But, I wish it could be a little better, but overall, I'm glad I didn't hate it. At least I enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more videos.